what you mean. Breaking through glass cages inside of me. Surfing and swimming in a never-ending sea. Finding missing puzzles to keep. Crack the cracking for everyone to sleep. Illusions walking and living like zombies. Allowing people to play with my mind like chess piece. Stole the key to my psyche. Now for years I just wanna hide me. Deflowered and free. Initiations with time. What up, though? It's your girl, Amir, back with another reading. This message is going to be for the Jupiter Aries transit for the sign of Virgo. All right. Welcome if you're new and welcome if you are returning. Please be sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when a new video is dropping before you leave out this video. Also, leave a comment below if this video has resonated for you and how it has resonated for you, by the way. Okay, if you're looking for a personal message for this Jupiter transit or any other transit that will be taking place in the future, you can definitely use the link tree in the description box to book directly on Square or send an email directly to me regarding the personal reading you would like to have, okay? So let's get into it. I am the High Priestess of Mist, and I have the power to manifest my desires in alignment with my divine assignment for the greatest good of all. Ashe. Alright, so Jupiter in Aries is transit your 8th house. So this is an expansion on sharing assets, sharing money, sharing intimacy, sharing private information, having to share something that you and someone else both kind of are actually merited, but you might be the person in control of how that goes, or it might be vice versa because energy goes both ways. 144, a new cycle is starting in regards to how you trade off time, money, energy, resources with yourself and another person. So Jupiter is all about expansion, and then Aries energy in conjunct Virgo. So this energy can cause a bit of an irritation when it comes to sharing assets, money, especially money or material goods, because emotions are involved. There's a bit of a obsession or control issues, or just like some type of domineering energy that could be at play on one or both sides. It doesn't matter whose it is, but it does kind of matter at the same time. But this Jupiter transit is going to help you to experience letting go of always trying to be in control of something or trying to be the only person that has a say-so in a relationship with someone that requires you to share. And you could be experiencing this in a whole bunch of different areas of your life that requires your trust, your complete and undivided trust. And it may be difficult, or you may have had trust issues in the past, but this new Jupiter transit is going to help you with resetting your default settings, so you could be more established in who you are, to the point where you don't try to hold on to things or people, places, or whatever. You just let things be as they are, how they're meant to be, because Aries is all about the I am. You know who you are. You know what you stand for. You know what you're doing. You don't have to fight or argue with anybody over anything, okay? And if you do have to pay off debt or things like that, or you share debt with someone and you guys are taking care of that, the more that you put trust into the fact that what needs to happen will happen, the easier it'll be. The 8th house is also marriage and bonds, as well as sex, death, and transformation. So how you have sex or your sexual activity may be completely changed. Scorpio energy is very much about withholding the Kundalini experience until you see all that you need to see. This could also mean you may experience death in your family a bit more often, which may shake up some of the philosophies that you've been using when it comes to
being permanently bonded to something or someone in your life, or having that type of marriage experience. It could also be that you just start digging more into occult knowledge to help you protect yourself, or to help you realign with your spiritual purpose. Okay, and occult doesn't necessarily mean it's something bad going on, or it's black or dark magic. It just means that you're tapping into the dark feminine energy that lies within you, using your higher self or your intuition, instead of just relying solely on just yourself to make things happen. Okay. Alright, our ancestors had all of this for us to use by any means necessary. You need to take the same approach moving forward. Okay, if you know what your lineage is and what it's about, then it'll be easier for you to do it, because you'll know exactly how to go about it. Okay, so your overall message is Yod, destiny. What is changing during this transit? Okay, solar eclipse revolution, which just took place in Taurus. We're going to have another one in Scorpio later this year. And the sign of initiation being complete. Since Aries is about initiation, 555. Grand trine blessings. Okay, and blessings means things are just easier to either put work in or to not do anything and let it work out itself. So at the bottom we got Pisces, I believe, which is your opposite energy. So this is definitely about you learning how to believe and trust in what you cannot see and what you don't know. This could very much be like trusting someone's word instead of needing confirmation or validation all the time. You're about to experience how much healthier your relationships will be without you trying to look for evidence or details all the time when it comes to dealing with another entity outside of yourself. You just need to believe that what is meant for you is for you, and what needs to be removed from your life will be removed, whether you are fully aware of it or not. It's always Spirit is always working on your behalf, as long as you're in the energy of believing that. Okay, so let's look at this destiny card. Your overall message is destiny. This Jupiter and Aries experience is bringing things to the light. It's helping you transform, going into the direction you're meant to be in. And your energy here, Hermit. Okay, so you need to get back to being yourself again, because you haven't been. This is the Knight of Swords. This talks about being quick to, run into action, quick to say something or speak up. But I feel like, we got the Two of Cups and the Lovers and the Hierophant here at the bottom. So this like being in a rush to create a relationship or going to an institution, the Hierophant, to stabilize our relationships. But we got this Nine of Wands here, which talks about taking a step back from a situation. And it also it is Sagittarius energy, so it does talk about taking a risk and things of that nature. But I feel like when it comes to this overall message with Jupiter being destiny, God's finger is pointing you to be alone at this time. Be okay with being alone, and don't be in a rush to, hook up or connect with a bunch of people, especially from an institution point of view. The only thing you really need to be in a rush to connect to is your own soul, and being able to heal and connect with your divine feminine and divine masculine energies on a plane of spirituality. Jupiter is a planet representing philosophy and religion. So maybe it's time for you to create your own religion at this time, something for you to actually live by day to day, and stop allowing other people to bond you or, create a reality for you to live in that you don't even feel comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? So again, this overall message for this Jupiter transit is about you learning how to be alone and with yourself and not being in a rush to go out. So what is changing is revolution. We have the solar eclipse. Solar eclipse is when the moon is blocking the sun. They're in a conjunct formation, meaning power. And yep, moon and Taurus at the bottom here. That's what took place recently. So this eclipse, the solar eclipse, is about, you know, starting a whole new journey, a whole new process, right? And we got the Ace of Cups. So to me, this is, because this is your card, the Hermit card, it's like you're just on a road to being more intimate with yourself, being more in love with who you are now and what you want to do now versus being in love with the person someone else sees, being in love with the person that someone thinks you are, like genuinely being emotionally connected, you know, clearing out your sacral chakra space, and getting rid of things that don't really connect with what you deem yourself to be worthy of. The 8th house is opposite of the 2nd house. The 2nd house, Taurus energy, is about ownership, and then the 8th house is about transformation. So you're basically transforming your worth at this time by being more proactive and eliminating 1111, eliminating things in your life that do not belong, people in your life that do not belong, going to the places that bring you more stability, like doing the things that you actually wanted to do, and stop holding yourself back because of how someone else might feel about it. You need to be more in tune with how you feel about something before you take a jump. So the sign of initiation being complete, because this is a 4-year transit ahead, is blessings, this trine here. So if you have fire energy, that will be a fire trine with this Jupiter. Oh, and I just seen the Tower. So yeah. Oh, and we got the Lovers, Gemini energy, air energy. Okay, and it's Venus, and then we got the Taurus, Saturn and Taurus at the bottom, 7 of Pentacles. So this process of believing in yourself more than you ever have before may take time. It may take you 7 months to get to a point where you actually start to see the transformation take place, where you start to do things more on your own and by yourself, and you start to develop a stronger psychic attunement with your higher self, your own guidance, to the point your blessings, especially when it comes to relationships, are going to be so much more like fulfilling than they ever were before, because now that you had that time alone to go through your transformation, which is basically going through an awakening process, like you're starting to get to know yourself more intimately than you ever have before. So when you're around other people, or you end up going into new relationships with people, or when you create new contracts with people, especially when it has to do with money, sharing assets with somebody. This could even be like taking care of taxes, alimony, child support, things like that. That's also representative of the 8th house. It's going to be more amicable than it was if you didn't have that time alone to sort out your issues and not just be caught up in believing everything that someone else thinks or says about you, because they're confused about what's going on with them and they're trying to put that energy off on you, and that's not fair. So you needed this alone time so that you can assess what's yours and what is someone else's, and then you can transform out of that situation and into something that's going to be better for you. Okay, so the advice we have here is the Cardinal. The polarities of your spiritual pursuits and physical pleasures are out of balance. So do whatever is necessary to bring them back into equilibrium. Okay, so what you want to do spiritually and what your physical life is looking like are not quite equal, which makes a lot of sense why the Hermit is here for destiny, where you need to disconnect from everything and go within, discover that fountain of youth within yourself, awakening to the emotional depths that you actually are able to tap into on your own. You don't need another person to dig in there for you. And with that brings a blessing of relationships. So if you were in a relationship with someone and you're trying to figure out if you should still keep putting more time and energy into it, the only way you can really answer that question is if you spend more time with figuring out where you are in your life right now and what do you want in your life now moving forward, versus thinking about who you were 10, 15, 20 years ago and what that person would have wanted at that time, because you're not who you were back then. The energy is upgrading all of us on a point where we can't even, make decisions based on who we were a year ago or 6 months ago, let alone that long ago. So the more that you tap into what you're meant to do here, what's your purpose here, and getting into the dark shadow parts of you and doing the shadow work, it will allow you to be more intimate with someone else coming into your life. That if this is a deepening relationship where you're going to a level where you're going to be bonded together for the rest of your life, you're not going to be ashamed or embarrassed by the shadow parts of you. You're going to own that moving forward, and you're not really going to give a fuck about how someone feels about your shadow self, because if it wasn't for that shadow, you would not be complete, you would not be whole. Pisces is about the light and the dark fish. There's light and dark in everything, and you need to work on being more intimate with the dark part as well as the light, in order for you to feel this balance take place where you are emotionally resurrected, and your sense of intimacy and emotional intelligence, your deeper psychic awareness has to rise to the forefront. If you've been suppressing certain things that have happened to you to make you the way that you are, that has to do with your shadow. It's time to get to the nitty-gritty of it. Like, it's time for you to expose those secrets that you have about yourself, and not be afraid that if you expose or you become more vulnerable with someone one-on-one, that they're automatically just going to up and leave you, because that's just your own programming that came from somewhere else that's not even true. And you may feel like it's true because you've been intimate with people to a certain extent, and it doesn't have to be sexual, even though this is the house of sex. It may have been to a point where on the same level as sex, you had communication with people that was that intimate, and it took a left turn in a way where the relationship never went back to the way that it was. And that's okay. You have to understand that that's okay, and take your time moving forward in intimate relationships, and don't forget to honor yourself, okay? Because you have someone here who clearly loves you and they want to share their cup with you, but if you're fixated on only having things go your way, how you want them to be, and you're trying to hide this other part of you, your arms not even open to what they could offer you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not open, and it's the reason why, and you need to figure out why, so you can be able to communicate that and figure out how to resolve your own issues. So if you have to apologize, you can, and you can start a whole new cycle with this person that you have a relationship with, okay? Because it definitely has the ability to work out way better and quicker than you imagine. You just have to get over whatever lies or deceit that you've been told or been telling yourself to feel like the relationship won't work, because it has the potential to work if you believe it will work, if you keep investing the time to make it work. But that also requires you doing the shadow work to make sure that you don't get in your own way of getting what it is that you want, and that you know that this soulmate is meant to be in your life. So stop recreating scenarios to push them away, basically. All right, so that's what I have for your energy here, Virgo. Thank you so much for tuning into this message. I hope it finds you well, and until then, peace.